Do you like pain? Because it really looks like you do. Obviously we don't like cluster headaches or the death of a loved one, but we do crave a lot of things that end up breaking our hearts, and sometimes even our bones. We all know the stories. The girl wants the bad boy wants the popular girl, and then they write songs about how toxic they are to each other. The addict wants the next shot, the next drink, the next cigarette. The scientist wants to see the sun without protection. The finance guy wants more money, a bigger apartment, a better texture for his business card.
Oh my god.
The gamer wants to pour another 100 hours into a game he's already finished. Inevitably, these cravings either end in disaster, or with the protagonist finally waking up to the actually important things.
It's kinda nice to slow down every once in a while.
But if the trap is so obvious, then why do we keep falling into it? Why do we crave what destroys us? Do we secretly like pain? Do we like wasting away? Or is there something deeper going on? Well, yes there is. We're not just stupid. Craving what destroys us is something deeply rooted in being human.
Well, hang on, you've just...
No, I like it. This is brilliant, but I like this.
If you clicked on this video, then you've probably felt it too. Like a moth to a flame, we keep chasing things that are bad for us. But sometimes the craving is for something trickier. Money, fame, glory, and those can turn into naive goals if we chase them too far.
1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4...
It's only after we get them that we realize they caused more pain than good. And pain is bad, right? We don't like pain unless it's a pain au chocolat. But even that isn't so simple, because sometimes we would rather feel pain than nothing at all. Part 2. Curiosity killed the woman. Curiosity killed the woman. Craving what destroys us is so deeply ingrained in the human experience that it's at the heart of our myth of creation. A famous example of someone craving what will destroy them is when a higher force created the first human woman and told her not to do something, because doing that thing would bring great pain to humanity. But her curiosity was stronger than her fear, and she did what was forbidden, which ended up forcing humanity out of paradise. I'm talking of course about Pandora? Wait, is that right? Feels like this should be bigger news. From Pandora to Eve, our tales of creation are deeply rooted in mythology and curiosity. Without Eve's and Pandora's curiosity, we might still be in paradise, but we also would not be truly human. And okay, it's not a myth of creation, but I'd be remiss not to mention Bluebeard's wife. Her curiosity isn't framed as a weakness. Still, she's driven by the need to know a truth that might literally kill her. But it's worth it to her, completing the triforce of women's curiosity, pushing them to disobey the man in charge. And indeed, curiosity might be one of the highest qualities we have as humans. We are naturally wired to wonder about the sky, the meaning of it all, and if a tree or a jar or a dark room are forbidden to us, we want to know why. We want to taste the apple, open the jar, open the door. Yes, the discovery may destroy us, but our craving for it isn't morbid. On the contrary, it's an excited wonder about the mysteries of life. Curiosity has often been attributed to women in old stories.
My, what a peculiar place to have a party.
But at its core, curiosity is universal to humans, women or men.
Curiosity often leads to trouble.
In fact, one experiment showed that men are more likely to be reckless in their pursuit of curiosity. Part 3. Curiosity electrocuted the man. We tend to see pain as something we should avoid, or at most as a necessary evil that we have to face in order to achieve a higher goal, like to defeat a mighty adversary despite our wounds.
'Tis but a scratch.
Or to carve those abs a bit more. But yeah, the purpose in our suffering is never the suffering itself, unless you're a masochist, which is a word that comes from this dude, but we'll come back to him in a bit. For most of us, if the pain is bad enough, we'll do literally everything we can to escape the situation. Or would we? Researchers made a funny experiment where they put people in a room with nothing to do, except for a button that, if they pressed it, would zap them with a painful discharge of electricity. Well, pain is bad, and there was nothing to gain here by electrocuting yourself. And yet 75% of the men and 25% of the women pressed the button. One explanation could be that we're just so terrified of boredom that we'd rather feel pain. But I think our choice of getting electrocuted reflects something deeper and more optimistic in the human mind. Because if I ask myself, would I press the button in this situation? I think yeah, I would. It's about curiosity. First, curiosity about what will happen if I press the button. Was the scientist saying the truth or was he lying? Because we know those guys like to play tricks. And imagine the button was not electric. 100% of the people would press it just to see what would happen. So pressing the button does have the inherent value of clearing out a mystery. It's not about pain over boredom, but it's about knowledge over ignorance. And even beyond that, I would press the button out of curiosity about the pain itself.
After all, why not?
Sure, you wouldn't put your fingers in the sockets at home, because you know how dangerous it is. But here, you know the zap won't kill you, so there is a natural curiosity of knowing how it feels like to experience this kind of pain in a safe environment. If there was a box where you could experience completely safe pain, I take no risk in saying people would pay for it. I know this because we are already doing it, by eating spice for the thrill, or by watching scary movies. It's about experiencing negative emotions from a safe place.
David, you're going to get hurt tonight.
And people literally do pay to be put in horrible situations.
You're going to get drowned. You're going to get buried. But I'm not really here to hurt you, although I am going to hurt you.
Our curiosity can lead us into harm, but more often than not it's actually a positive force in our lives. Yet, sometimes, our curiosity does get hacked, and we do actually end up in really harmful patterns. We'll talk about this just after I do this lame thing where I ask you to subscribe to the channel. As of the making of this video, there is about 600 of us.
Pump those numbers up, those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Part 4, in the shadow self of the day. If you played Super Mario or Celeste, then you are already familiar with the concept of shadow self, which is a dark version of you that will follow your exact movement with a lag, and if it touches you, you lose health points. Or, like Carl Jung put it, the shadow self is the unconscious part of us that holds all the repressed stuff, like shame, forbidden desires, aggression, weakness, shame, fears, shame, envy, impulses, shame. In the case of Super Mario, his shadow must contain his repressed anger. Look at this man smiling all the way as Bowser kidnaps his princess again and again. But have you seen Mario angry once? No, but it's not because he's a Buddhist master. Rather, he must have crammed all his anger deep inside of him, in his shadow, and it only comes out once in a while. It's important to understand the shadow is inherently not evil. All it does is contain Mario's repressed emotions. Mario wants to be angry but cannot be, and so it ends up in the shadow. Mario never allows himself to be driven by his shadow, but in the real world people actually do it a lot. Like when we chase fame instead of caring for those around us, it's because we have allowed our shadow to drive us, and it can be powerful. Some would argue that our desire to see lewd images is what's driving AI progress. Not me, I would not say that, but I know people who would. Anyway, this can be fine as long as one is aware that it's the shadow's doing. Basically, the shadow is a good servant but a bad master.
And you are too familiar.
Because when you start a YouTube channel to achieve fame, is it really the fame that you want, or are you simply looking for a sense of self-worth?
I search the faces of the gods for ways to please you, to make you proud.
The shadow can be useful, as it will bring energy and motivation to your project for fame or money or whatever it is. But keep in mind that these things are not the end goal. The end goal is usually self-worth. Have you ever stepped on the edge of a cliff or of a platform as the train entered, and you got scared of yourself because for an instant you felt the desire to jump? It's known as l'appel du vide, the call of the void, and it's a desire that you repressed, so that is textbook shadow self territory. So the craving for our own destruction often comes from the shadow. In obvious cases like the cliff, we know we have to repress it, but in other cases it's more subtle, and we allow the shadow to take the wheel. The thing is, repressing the shadow does not really work in the long term, because the harder you repress it, the more it will haunt you, like Frollo being so scared of his libido that he ends up burning Esmeralda instead of buying her flowers. Well, actually in the novel she's hanged. So then we're in a bit of a bind as humans, because we cannot let our shadow drive us, because it craves things that destroy us. But at the same time we can't repress it, because it will only increase the pressure on us. So what then? Is the game rigged against us? Well, first of all, yes, but also the trick is to integrate the shadow in yourself, meaning acknowledge it and respect it, but without letting it drive us.
Maybe what I really want is to be one of these Asian girls.
And so we can indulge in the shadow with lower stakes things, like with our morbid fascination for serial killers, or why we slow down to look at car accidents, or watch disaster videos, or read black box recording to check what were the last words of the crew. That is very depressing, by the way. And we can even take the integration of our shadows a bit further, by allowing it to mirror dark impulses, but in a controlled environment. Video games are pretty good at that, of course, allowing us to explore a life that our shadow dreams about. And playing this should not make us more violent. On the contrary, it should help us reconcile with our shadow and make it less likely that the dark impulse will pop up in a real-life situation. Some even act on their impulse to jump, but in a controlled environment, or at least controlled enough. As if these guys have heard their shadow wondering what would happen if I jump, and they set out to answer that question. We are so familiar with it that it's become a cliché to say that the closer we are to our own destruction, the more alive we feel. But navigating that threshold doesn't come without risks, and people get lost in caves or die on K2, but it still raises a deeper question. Why did the shadow want to jump in the first place? Because if we are wired for survival, if the whole point of evolution is that it prioritizes survival instinct, why do we have this death instinct inside of us telling us to jump? Freud called this death drive Thanatos, while Eros was the life drive. And it's not about wanting to die, not really. It's more about craving peace. It's an interesting paradox, that something so seemingly bad for our survival is also rooted in us so deeply, and it is very dangerous. It only takes one moment of weakness to answer the call of the void. That's why we should keep the temptation far away from our eyes and mind, otherwise there's a chance that one day we'll give in to the shadow's demand. And that's why just keeping a gun at home significantly increases the probability that one day you'll Part 6, The Call of the Void, Candy Crush Edition. Have you ever achieved some sort of enlightenment playing a video game where you had an objective, like getting the Ballon d'Or for your player, winning the Quidditch Cup,
Think you're good enough to beat Slytherin?
reaching 100% achievements on Steam, only to feel empty once you've succeeded because it made you realize that this objective that seemed so exciting proved to be completely meaningless in the end. And looking back, it's hard to believe you wasted so much time on this. I mean, it is transparent that the only use of some of these games is to kill time. Like, time killer is literally considered a compliment. So why do we do these things? Or, to rephrase, why do we let ourselves be eaten alive by things that don't even satisfy us? Well, it's the shadow again. Except this time it is not telling you to jump, but asking you to keep scrolling. Jumping from the cliff would make you disappear once and for all, while Candy Crush makes you disappear 5 minutes at a time. It's the same Call of the Void, only in a milder form. It's hoping to find peace, but not by addressing the problems of real life, only by avoiding real life. Disappearing into the game, or the drink, or the drug seems appealing because we escape the problems, but ultimately it's unfulfilling, because as soon as we return to real life, the problems are still there. In the end, the peace that endless scrolling or mobile games can offer was never really peace, it was only silence. Part 7.
What's in the box?
Despite this call, your shadow self doesn't want to kill you. It simply wants you to acknowledge it. And the harder you repress it, the more it will find ways to come knocking back into your mind.
I am the one who knocks.
And why does it want to be seen? Well, because it's you, a repressed part of you, but still you. Imagine there was a mysterious box hiding a dark secret about you. You don't know what's inside. Maybe something about your origins, or a forgotten event from your past. Someone you deeply trust begs you not to open the box, fearing the truth could break you.
I've always felt that you trusted me enough and respected me enough to not have to know all the details.
Would you still open it? This man in Tell Me Who I Am found himself in this exact situation. He kept no memory of his childhood after a head injury and forgot something very dark. His brother remembers the dark thing, but he doesn't want to say what it is, because from the brother's point of view, there is nothing to gain from knowing the dark thing, and it can only bring pain.
Which I'd spent fucking years getting rid of. Burying and burying and burying and burying it. Silence, silence, silence. Yeah, but it allowed me to have a free life. As you were having a free life.
But the one who has forgotten desperately needs to know.
For me, your secrecy is something that I just have found very difficult.
It's not about choosing to feel pain. For him, it's about knowing who he is. So even if there is only pain to find in the truth, at least it's our pain, it's our story.
But why couldn't you let it go? Why couldn't you accept it?
I couldn't. I just could not let it go.
And that was the point of Mr. Mazosh. You choose your pain to own your pain. You know what you're getting into. You get to choose the pain that will occupy your mind instead of letting some other pain guide you. If the love of your life went missing, and the man who kidnapped her offered to tell you what exactly happened to her, but only if you let him do to you what he did to her, would you accept? Many of us would refuse, but we can understand why someone might accept and give themselves to the kidnapper. It's always about chasing that missing part of us, chasing that mystery of life, of the universe. Yes, the truth may destroy us, but we cannot be whole without it. Yes, the sun may make us blind, but at least we'll have seen the light in its purest form. Yes, Pinocchio may become mortal, but at least he'll be a real boy. In the end, we don't crave what destroys us because we want that thing to destroy us. We crave it because somewhere, deep down, we believe that inside the pain is some important truth about our lives. Something that will finally make sense to us, make sense of us, even if in the process it burns us up. And if that truth is so painful that it does destroy us, well then, we'll crave forgetfulness, which will destroy us all over again.
I have been lying to myself for 20 years. That is my defense mechanism. I couldn't cope with it anymore. Don't you understand, Annie?
The point is, there is nothing morbid at the heart of our cravings for dangerous things. On the contrary, even when it gets dark, what really drives us is the wonder of life and our desire for peace.
No more lies. No more lies. No more silence. No more secrets. And I have you back with me.
If you enjoyed this video, can I suggest that you give this one a try on why we used to fear the color blue? As of today on my channel, this blue fear video is the closest in vibe to the one you have just watched, while the rest of my stuff was more focused on writing analysis. But if this video on why we crave or destroys us performs well, I think I'll focus on that format in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.